If you guys are looking for a place to get some reliable Ultimate Team coins, be sure to check the link in the description below to cointraders.co and use code LEGACY for 5% off of your purchase. What is going on, guys? We're back today talking about some lovely NHL 19 and the old NHL 19 beta. It seems to be the hot topic right now. Everybody's out there. We've seen the AIs get fixed, but all of a sudden the AIs weren't the big problem. Everybody thinks now the big problem is we can't skate. The LTL2 button, they just don't work. I was beyond satisfied with the AIs being fixed, by the way. And I'm just kind of curious to go out there, and what we're going to do in this video is find out what the big difference is here in the NHL 19 game now in the NHL 19 beta. So we're just going to run this side-by-side footage, show some examples, talk a little bit about the examples, talk a little bit about the changes, because as of right now, it just seems like that was a very, very squeaky as of right now, but it just feels like 90% of the people who comment on NHL 19, they just want everything switched back to the beta. Everything. You know, the same beta that almost felt like a divided community when the beta came out because of how bad the poke checking spamming was. Yeah, that beta. That's the one everybody wants back now all of a sudden. So it got me wondering, right, how great was the beta? Is the beta as great as everybody remembers it, or do we all just like to flash back to the good times when we was having so much fun? Whether there was flaws or wasn't flaws, we was all enjoying that new beta. Really want to find out, would people be truly satisfied if they was playing a beta right now? So we're going to try to dig into the beta. We're going to try to show, like I said, we're going to compare it. We'll see what we got to talk about here. I do want to say this before we get started, though. If we had the exact same game as the beta, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind we would just have just as many people right now complaining about how bad NHL 19 is if it was never changed from the beta. Because some hate the game, just hate the game. Others, well, they would have been riding because of how terrible the poke check was. Let's not forget, a poke check was pretty much a penalty back in the day. A stick lift was never a penalty. And let's not forget about the computer goalie let in pretty much every single backhand far side shot from the circle. Then you could just shoot them little turds. They just go right by that goalie. Quite the glitch goal. They fixed that in the goalie as well. There was a lot of things that were problems in the beta that they fixed. There's a lot of good things in the beta, though. I do understand how people want them back as well. So where's the fine line here? Do we want the beta? Do we want NHL 19? I want to gather the opinions. I want to hear what you guys are saying. And just going off of that, I want to start this video out with something I don't do often. And that's just going out there and showing some praise to EA, because we're all guilty at some point in time of saying EA doesn't listen to us, right? But if that were true, like I said, the issues we just named, they'd still be in the game. If they didn't listen to us, we'd still be taking a trip after every poke. We still wouldn't be able to get the stick lifting penalties. We still would be able to glitch all over the computers. They've listened to us on quite a few things. Maybe not everything, but they've been listening to us to an extent, so we do have to show some appreciation for that, right? For that reason, thank you, EA, for fixing those problems. Thank you for fixing the AI the other day. But now we're on to talking about fixing the skating. As I mentioned, I've been running NHL 19 beta versus NHL 19 skating this whole video. I'm going to try to throw some sixes gameplay in there as well with more players. The reason I haven't put it all in there is because I was playing defense a lot of the times, playing sixes. And I love to spam the select button when I go out there and play defense. And I did not want to give you guys a headache if I did not have to. But there's a lot of great examples of how good the skating is playing in sixes games, because those guys use the ability of the L2, the LT a lot more than I probably did in threes. And I've just been sitting here trying to dissect the difference. What is so different from the beta to right now that's got everybody riding like crazy? The beta to now, the beta to now. I've been watching the video. I keep looking back and forth, and I'm struggling to figure it out. To be completely honest, I mentioned it before, complaining to the EA, saying fix your skating with no video proof or further explanation is kind of useless. I mean, if I worked for EA right now, your skating's trash, fix the game, or go back to the beta, I'd honestly be confused on what you want me to fix. Like I said, fix the skating. Do you want to see the stick lift spam back? Do you want to see the poke check penalties back? What do you mean by skating? Do you want to see more agility, less agility, faster guys, slower guys? You can't skate backwards, you can't spin, you can't deke. There's so many different aspects to the skating, and I'm pretty sure every single one of them is not a problem to everybody. They just sum it up into skating. When you say that, EA doesn't know what to fix, right? So we do need to keep that in mind when we're out there giving our feedback, and feedback's great, don't get me wrong. But we need to show, you know, more of an explanation, or show some videos of why the skating's wrong here, or why it's there. It's the only way they can fix it, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into everyone's new favorite thing to talk about. It was the AI, but, you know, they fixed the AI. God forbid we don't hate and complain about something else, right? So it is now the L2, L3. I want to say L2 and L3 so many times, and it's L2 and LT. I'm just going to go with the LT button. And so many people, they just want it back. It's almost like it's the only thing they want back. So let's dig into this. And I mean really dig into this. I've watched this same clip over and over and over and over like a million times, just trying to see the differences in the game. I'm just watching this and I think Red made the NHL Player of the Year right here, right? In a video game, probably not. But when is the last time you've seen a skater in real life skate sideways around another skater was almost like a toe drag, but instead with the toe drag with the puck, it was almost like he was toe dragging his skates around the guy, right? Then he proceeds to go up there, spinorama between like 11 guys, maintain possession, not lose possession of that puck, using a bigger build, I must add. I believe he was using that power forward, making these moves, right? Let's imagine Blake Wheeler. I like Blake Wheeler. Let's imagine Blake Wheeler making these moves right now, even with that defenseman kind of standing right there. And I did try to replicate this to an extent in practice mode in NHL 19. I'm going to be honest, I obviously can't feel the speed of the game from, 2 months ago, but it does most definitely look a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker in the beta. I can see what people went back there. Definitely not going to argue the fact that the L2 and LT hasn't changed at all, I know. But I do want to say this, it still feels like it's there to an extent. Maybe it's not near as effective. Maybe it's not usable in every single case. I've still seen a lot of top ESHL players go in there, skate into the zone backwards, effectively, skate in sideways, effectively from time to time. And that's been in previous games as well, which I guess maybe you can think, the top players are doing it. Maybe it just takes a little bit more skill to do it. Then again, like I said, you can't really argue the fact that it was quicker. It was a tighter spin back in the day. You can be the judge there on how you feel about the LTL2 button. I kind of think of it like a lone player in Hunt though, right? We never had it before. Haven't had it in years or ever. You got it for a few days and, well, it's gone again. Much like a lone player. It's like something you never really had, right? They teased us with it and you can't even keep it. But I do want to say this. I watched some Datsuk highlights, and boy, was that a good time to do. But I did it to get a sense of, what one of the best players ever could do with the puck. And remember that clip I showed you earlier of Red skating sideways around a guy? The only time I seen Datsuk come anywhere close to doing that move was on a penalty shot. And even then, it was almost like a quarter of a move of what Red did. It wasn't even close. He kind of went sideways, but he kind of came back. Red went completely sideways and came right back. And man, these announcers, the fans, they was losing their mind when they seen Datsuk do that, which just kind of tells me like, man, that was a very, very impressive move and something hard to do in the NHL. And to think you could do double that move essentially in NHL 19, it almost brings up the big question and the big discussion of a lot of people of should NHL 19 be an arcade game or a simulation. Honestly, I think there's a lot of people that are going to feel different, right? Some people like the sim, some people like the arcade. Honestly, we kind of have both. Go check out drop-ins in NHL 1s. That's very arcadey if you want to play the arcadey style of the game. But if you do ask me, the LT maneuvers were probably one of the most unrealistic skating abilities one has ever had in an NHL game. And from a realism standpoint, I find it good they removed it. But at the same time, I completely understand the people that go out there and say it was the only way to get around skill zoning defenders, the computer defensemen. Well, they have fixed the skill zone. They have tried to nerf it. I shouldn't say completely fixed. I'm sure there's still some issues with it. I'm sure people will figure it out. But it is definitely a lot easier to get around a defenseman now, even without L2, even without LT. So hopefully people are trying to maybe figure that out a little bit. Give the previous tuner a little bit of a chance, right? But I mean, everything else, just besides watching that, I can understand people might say the cutting might be a little bit different. To be honest though, if I went back to NHL 18, it would probably feel a lot clunkier than NHL 19. That was the thing when you was in the beta. Once you got used to it, you was like, wow, I went back to NHL 18. I was like, holy cow, is that different? But I would not say the skating feels anything close to NHL 18 does right now. For that reason, I don't know, where else are we missing here? This is where I want to hear you guys' opinion on it. And this is where I hopefully, if you do have an opinion on the skating, you can kind of explain, maybe you see some differences in these clips that I don't, or you can explain to EA, or you can explain, comment to somebody, raise the awareness on some certain areas that you're concerned about, maybe, and go out there and fix them. Because there were things in the beta that weren't great as well. I know there was a lot of great things in the beta, but like I said, the stick lift, that's been fixed. Everyone is upset about that spam stick lift. You literally didn't take a penalty, and I know the AI still don't take a penalty now, but we're talking about the skating. The penalties is more of a gameplay thing. I don't know. If you look at other stuff, though, I mean, as far as speed's concerned, it was still kind of a problem because I was over here, I think I was rocking a small sniper build trying to be as fast as I can. I was still getting caught from behind by these big guys. The puck pickups were actually insane in the beta. Maybe that was part of what people liked and kind of didn't like at the same time, because one thing I did notice about the beta, and I do think I like it a lot better, is the puck interceptions. I watched this guy, I tried to pass the puck through the lane here, and the guy just kind of no-look intercepts it. Do I think he should pick that off? No. But I did notice when I was playing defense, there was a lot of situations where I was kind of in the lane, and I kind of grabbed the puck a lot easier than I do now. I do think that's great if we could get that back, but at the same time, there were so many cases back in the beta, and just back 3 days ago, where the A guy literally intercepted everything, and it did get a little bit crazy at the same time, right? Give us everything the beta had. Give it back. Do you want that back in the game? Do you want the poke check penalties back in the game? Other than that, though, I just wanted this to be kind of a do you remember the beta type video, because I hear so many people talking about how great it is. Do you remember playing the beta? Do you remember everything that came with the beta? Maybe NHL 19 is not as bad as we all think. Maybe it is. But my big question is, and I do want to hear your opinions on it, I really do, is the skating as different as you expected it, or is it worse than you expected, or better than you expected, or just about what you expected? You want to see the beta skating right back into the game? I just wanted to kind of give everyone a chance, rethink what you've seen in the beta. Do you really want to see everything back from the beta? If you do, hey, understandable. If you don't, what are the certain things you may have wanted to see back in the beta instead of just saying, oh, I want everything back from the beta. The game was perfect. But just like the rest of you guys, though, I want to see the game be at its best. So, single those things out. Single the skating issues out. Directly skating issues, maybe comment them down below. Comment to EA politely explaining them to them. That's what we got to do. If we want the game to be better, they're going to need constructive criticism, but just kind of badgering EA over and over about, just casual things just to do it, it's probably not going to help them out very much. So let's keep that in mind. Otherwise, though, guys, let me know what you're thinking. I feel like we went on a very sidetracked route there with that skating comparison, but it was all kind of relative, right? So let me know what you're thinking. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.